What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here, and welcome to our daily show where we discuss the fourth stimulus check updates, the two new upcoming packages, part one, the physical infrastructure package, and part two, the next stimulus package, which is $3.5 trillion, the largest stimulus package yet to date. Yeah, the stimulus packages are getting larger, not smaller, contrary to what some people believe that stimulus is over. The next stimulus package has been announced as the largest stimulus package yet to date, almost twice the size of the third stimulus check package. And even after they pass this next stimulus package, the Democrats are going to continue to pass stimulus packages until November 2022 as they get a whole nother set of reconciliation cards to continue to pass stimulus packages and packages that include their priorities as they are in control of the House, the Senate until November 2022. So there's going to actually be more packages after this, probably several more packages until the midterm elections. So um, Congress is in session this weekend. I'm going to let you guys know what is going to be happening this weekend, what they're working on right now, what is actually happening today, what is expiring today, and what we can expect this weekend. Yeah, as I said, things are literally changing by the hour as they're in the final moments of basically wrapping up this package and what we can expect next. So if you're new to the channel, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe down below. It's completely free to do so. Remember that new videos come out here on our channel every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will keep you up to date with everything going on with stimulus, part one, part two, and what's going on with our country and in Washington, D.C. Don't forget to hit the like button. Say that 5 times fast. And let's jump right in. Okay, if you're a renter who is behind on rent, unfortunately, the eviction expiration will be ending today. They had a last-minute vote in the U.S. House of Representatives, and it did not pass. It did not pass. Not a single Republican voted on it, and even some Democrats did not vote on it because it is a complex situation because a lot of, I mean, honestly, the eviction protection has been there for a while. I think over a year. I don't know the exact amount of months off the top of my head, but it will expire today. So yeah, the problem is it's a very complex situation because a lot of average everyday people are the people that are the landlords, the people who own the houses, and they have not been getting any money to pay for the properties. So it's not necessarily corporations that are always the people that the money is going to. So even the Democrats did not have full approval to pass this eviction protection. So the eviction moratorium will be expiring today. It is a little bit of a sad situation, no matter what side of the coin you look for, because millions of people will be getting evicted soon. In fact, if you actually look at this graph, there are certain states where actually over 25% of the renters are actually behind on rent, which means that up to 25%, or some states 20, like here, South Carolina, 28% of the renters in the entire state are behind on rent, which means that 28% of the people could be evicted because they're behind on rent. 265,000 people in South Carolina alone, just as one particular state. Indiana, 20% of renters are behind on rent, 252,000 adults. Ohio, 17% of renters. Texas, 15%. California, 14%. Florida, 13%. Alaska, 16%. Illinois, 17%. Wyoming, 17%. Pennsylvania, 19%. I mean, yeah, it's Iowa, 18%. Yeah, it's really bad out there. It's really bad out there. And if there's not another reason for more stimulus checks to get this rent assistance and mortgage assistance out there, this would be one of the exact reasons. Remember, there's like still $40 billion of rent assistance, mortgage assistance, and all sorts of type assistance. Look at all this. It's just crazy. Indiana, 20%, West Virginia, 20%, Georgia, 24%, 563,000 adults are behind on rent in Georgia. Wow, that's a lot. 28% in South Carolina. Wow. Connecticut, 21%. New York, 21%. 1.27 million adults are behind in rent in New York. Let me see California just because it's a large state. 14% or 1.65 million adults are in risk of being evicted in California. Actually, I think California is one of the states that has extended their eviction moratorium. This, remember, state by state cases, states can extend their eviction moratorium. I don't have that on the top of my head right now. I don't have the information. I said it in a couple videos ago, but I don't have that at the top of my head right now. But I believe it's California, New York, and a couple other states. If you're in risk of eviction, feel free to look that up. Actually, me being the good YouTube host that I am, I will just look it up for you. California, where 1.6 million renters may be in possible eviction status, they are okay until October. Washington, D.C., evictions can't begin until August 26th, as you can see here on the screen. They may have other evictions can't resume until October 12th. Hawaii will lift it on August 6th. Illinois will be in effect through August. Maryland until August 15th. New York has extended its eviction until September for tenants who have endured a COVID-related setback. Renters in New Jersey can't be kicked out of their homes until all the way until January. Also, in addition, you can't be evicted for non-payment of rent during any months for which your landlord accepted federal rent assistance, said Emma Foley, a researcher at the National Low Income Housing Coalition. So you can't be evicted for non-payment of rent during any months for which your landlord accepted federal rent assistance. Also remember, there is like $40 billion in rent assistance available for all states. The states are very slow in doling it out, and there has been some strict qualifications that they're easing up on. I will link you to a video on how to apply for that at the end of this video. I have pretty much a video that has a lot more information on how to apply for that. Next up here is Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer on the Senate floor today. They are working on the Senate, in the Senate, this weekend.
Mr. President, yesterday a substantial bipartisan majority of senators agreed to move forward with a debate on the bipartisan infrastructure bill. Senators from the bipartisan group continue to finalizing the text of the agreement. Once the bipartisan group completes the legislative text, I will offer it as a substitute amendment, making it the base of the bill on the floor. And then we can proceed to the consideration of additional amendments. Look, I understand that writing the text of a bill of this size is a difficult project. I've been part of many such efforts in the past, but I urge the bipartisan group to finish their work so we can begin the amendment process here on the floor. I have said for weeks that the Senate is going to move forward on both tracks of infrastructure before the beginning of the August recess. The longer it takes to finish, the longer we'll be here. But we're going to get the job done. I will update the Senate on the timing of the next vote as we move forward. I yield the floor and note the absence of a quorum.
You heard him. He says they're going to stay there until they get Part 2 passed. We'll see if that happens. It is a very ambitious goal because Part 2 has a lot of work to be passed in the Senate. I'm not going to lie. He's the one saying it. He's the Senate Majority Leader. So remember, I'm just here reporting it. So it's not like the handcuffs are on me that I'm the one saying it. So he's the one saying that they're going to pass this in the Senate here before they leave for recess. Remember, recess is really just a work period where they actually go back to their states to work. Everybody thinks they go on vacation and they're like off on a beach somewhere. It's not actually the case. They actually just go back to their states to work, and they can actually be called back to Washington, D.C. to work. So everybody gets all up in arms, and I actually seen some comments from some people that actually understand it better. So when they go to their work period, it's actually called a state work period because the recess is kind of the people that say It's kind of like a slang word to kind of slang the senators and the House people because it's a state work period where they go back to their states to work. Because again, they're first and foremost kind of supposed to represent their states, senators and House representatives. They're supposed to be representatives for their states first. So they go back to their states to work with their people, to work at their states. And then, if they need to vote in Washington, they can actually be called back to their states within 24 hours and just come back to their states. So there's a very real possibility that if they go back to their states at some point, if they don't get close enough to voting on part two, which after they pass part one, they're going to then move on to part two. They might go back to their states. And as they're kind of working on drafting the bill, part two, they might go back to their states. And then if they get close enough to a vote, they'll be called back and they'll have a 24-hour notice where they have to fly back to Washington, D.C. Again, I'm just kind of here for you guys. I'm here with you guys every day. So I'm just kind of preparing you guys that it's not, they don't just leave and kind of go on vacation and sip mai tais on the beach. They go back to their states to work. Okay. A lot of people get all up in arms about this, that they're gonna be gone and they're gonna go to the beach. That's not the case. They actually go back to their states and they work at their states. Okay, and they have a 24-hour notice that they can be called back. Chuck Schumer can literally call them back. Nancy Pelosi can call them back within 24 hours, and they have to vote if need be. So just keep that in mind. But nonetheless, and again, this is the same type of thing. Chuck Schumer has the Senate there working this weekend. They're there working this entire weekend to pass this infrastructure bill. So it's the exact same thing. The Senate Majority Leader, much like the Speaker of the House, can keep them there through the weekend. They can keep them there through the state work period or the recess, whatever you want to call it. It's actually called the state work period, but they are there working in the Senate through this weekend. So that's kind of where, if Mitch McConnell was the majority leader, which he's not now, he's now the minority leader. That's one of the perks of being the majority leader, is that you can keep people there through the weekends. You can decide to send them home or not, but he has decided to not send the Senate home for the weekend. So they're literally working here on Saturday and Sunday. They're not even going home to their family. In fact, I know this from the second stimulus check package and the third stimulus check package. There were literally times that they were working until like 5 or 6 in the morning. I know this because I literally stayed up with them a couple times because I thought that they were going to vote. This is back when I was doing a couple of those 11 p.m. videos. I stayed up with them and I was thinking maybe I was going to do a live stream. I don't really like to do live streams because it's really just not my thing. And I stayed up with them, and then I was like, oh, they're going to maybe do it. And then I was like, oh, well, they're on the floor. They're getting ready to do it. And I just kind of stayed up. And then before I know it, it was like 3 a.m. And I was like, I gotta go to sleep, bro. And then like I went to sleep, and then like in the next morning, I found out that they voted at like 5 a.m. So yeah, literally like sometimes, I'm not saying all the times. I mean, by all means, sometimes they don't get a lot done. But sometimes they literally stay there all weekend. And not only do they stay there all weekend, but sometimes they're literally on the floor voting until 5 a.m. Now, sometimes the majority leaders, Mitch McConnell and Chuck Schumer, they actually do this as kind of a tactic to kind of force the other party to like, hey, we're going to vote on this whether you like it or not, and we're going to stay here until we vote on this whether you like it or not. Because when they go through the votorama, which is one of the last processes, it's kind of like they have the amendment process and then they have the votorama process. It's kind of we'll get the other sides kind of arguing with each other, and that process will take a long time. And sometimes we'll see the other sides kind of like stalling with each other, and we'll see the majority leader, no matter who it is, whether it's Mitch McConnell or Chuck Schumer or even in the House of Representatives, they'll say, listen, guys, we're staying here until the vote is over. So if you want to delay this, it's on you, because we're going to be here till 3 a.m. or 5 a.m. So you guys can delay it as long as you want, but we're staying here until the vote's over. So sometimes it's they do it, and It's like they're kind of hurting themselves. I'm not gonna make that mistake again and stay up with them until 3 or 5 a.m. again. I'll just see the results in the morning next time, so to speak. President Biden says Medicare and Medicaid turned 56 today. So yeah, if you're over 56 years old, 56 years ago, Medicare and Medicaid didn't even exist. So yeah, it wasn't even there. He says thanks to these life-saving programs, 140 million Americans have health insurance through these programs. And my Build Back Better agenda will add to that by expanding these Medicare benefits, Medicare 2.0, a lot of people are calling it, and reducing prescription drugs and closing the Medicaid coverage gap. The reducing prescription drugs is one of these stimulus provisions that are going to be in this next package, and we'll have to see how much it reduces prescription drug costs by. Also, to add, a lot of seniors, Senator Bernie Sanders says that up to 75% of seniors do not have hearing coverage, dental coverage, denture coverage, hearing aid coverage, and vision coverage, as well as lower the Medicare eligibility age to age 60, is going to be included in this next package. Again, everything is up for negotiation, so we're going to have to see how this all works and what is actually included in this next stimulus package, the $3.5 trillion package, the Part 2 package. These are all the things that are going to be, not all the things, but these are all the things that are up for negotiations that could be included in this next package. Okay. These are all the things that the Democrats have repeatedly talked about possibly included in this next package. We know that there's over 100 different Democrats that want a fourth stimulus check or a monthly recurring stimulus check to be included in this next package. This is separate or in addition to the child tax credits that are monthly checks that are $250 to $300 per month that are going out right now to 65 million children. Remember, those $250 to $300 checks, those are only passed for just this one year. That $3,000 to $3,600, $250 to $300 per month. That's a total of $3,000 to $3,600. If you have children and you're getting that right now, you're thinking, wow, this is really awesome. Some people call this a form of government child support. Some people call it a form of universal basic income. Guess what, guys? That's only passed for 1 year. That's only passed for this year. So if they don't extend that until 2025 in this next package, guess what? That goes away. So yeah, that's only passed for this 1 year. So if they don't pass this in this next package, guess what? You don't get that anymore. And guess what? They're also talking about an adult tax credit in this next package. Could that be $250 to $300 per month, or $3,000 to $3,600 for adults as well, or something similar to that for adults? I mean, $3,600 per year for adults would be the same thing as three $1,200 stimulus checks for adults per year. So again, three $1,200 stimulus checks per year for adults. So again, that would be similar to monthly stimulus checks that children are getting right now, to the total of $3,000 to $3,600 per year. One thing we do know is that this next stimulus package that has been announced at $3.5 trillion is almost twice the size of the last stimulus package that was $1.9 trillion. So there's plenty of money in there for the Democrats to dole out stimulus checks, whether it's in the form of a fourth stimulus check, whether it's in the form of child tax credits. Remember, those will only pass for 1 year, guys. So 65 million children, those payments are going to stop at December 15th. And remember, you're going to get the first half of this year on your tax returns, but those are going to stop at the end of this year. So again, this number 5 here, they want to extend that possibly till 2025 and have that go for 4 more years. But they have to do that in this next package, or it's going to be gone. Those are going to go away. So are they going to include a fourth stimulus check? Are they going to include money for child tax credits? Are they going to include money for adult tax credits? Are they going to include Social Security raises? Are they going to include just a straight up fourth stimulus check or monthly stimulus checks just for everybody? So all of these things are kind of the money things. There's also SNAP, WIC, and pandemic EBT. money they could put in there. They could put more mortgage assistance and rental assistance, utility assistance, or internet assistance. There's also a $25,000 home buyer credit that President Biden has talked about before, could be included in this next package. 2 years of free community college has largely been considered that will be in this next package. That's basically making 2 years of free community college basically available to probably anybody that qualifies for stimulus checks, basically makes below a certain income threshold, 75 to $80,000 for a single filer. Probably will be able to qualify for 2 years of free community college in this next package. But the thing is that everything is up for negotiations. So, if the Senate can pass this next package, this next stimulus package, in the next week or two, then the House will have to pass it. But the House could make significant changes to it after the Senate passes it. And this House has actually have a lot more progressive people in it, where there's actually a lot more people in the House, Pramila Jayapal and Rashida Tlaib, and a lot AOC, and a lot more people in the House that actually want more stimulus checks and more people. It actually could be the House this time around that actually adds in stimulus checks and more stimulus provisions. We have Bernie Sanders from the Senate, but in the House, there's actually dozens and dozens of people that want stimulus checks and stimulus items. I mean, we have Bernie Sanders from the Senate and a couple people from the Senate, but from the House, there's like over 80 people from the House. And remember that they can add in things from the Senate or from the House. So we could see the bill change significantly from the House or from the Senate. And we've seen that done from the third stimulus check package as well. So it's definitely one thing I want to, and I've kind of been trying to gear you guys up for this. Again, we don't even have the bill for the third stimulus, for the fourth stimulus check package. But remember, the third stimulus check package actually passed the House and then was changed by the Senate. They removed the $15 an hour minimum wage. One, because the Senate parliamentarians said it can't be in there, but they actually voted on it. They were going to overrule her. They just didn't get enough votes, so they had to remove it. Then they lowered the income threshold on the third stimulus check because that's what the senators wanted. And they also added in that $10,200 unemployment bonus. By the way, those checks are still going out if you're waiting on those. Had a lot of people say that, and actually the IRS said that 1.5 million checks of those, if you're waiting on an unemployment tax-free provision, those are going out right now. Those are anywhere from like a few $100s to like over $3,000 going out right now still. They added that in after the House passed the bill. So it's very likely that whatever the Senate puts in this bill, the House could change. In fact, the House literally has the House Democratic Progressive Caucus. They're called the Progressive Caucus. Progressive means they're liberal. They actually want to give more money to the people. They're kind of like the Bernie Sanders of the Democrats. So it's very likely that after the Senate passes their bill, that the House could say, well, we're okay with your bill, but we actually want to add in more stimulus provisions. So I just throwing this out there because I'm kind of been listening to what they're saying. And remember, the House can only have 3 people say no out of like 200 and some Democrats. I think it's like 218 or something like that. So, and remember the House has kind of been a little perturbed that the senators have been doing so many of these bills, the infrastructure package and the stimulus package, without them and not even like asking them anything. That is kind of how they do things. But I think that I wouldn't be surprised at all to see AOC and Pramila Jayapal and Rashida Tlaib add in some stimulus provisions, checks, larger checks, or anything like that at all, and then go back to the Senate and kind of force them to say, hey, listen, guys, we need to add in a little bit more money for the people. And I don't even know how much money they're going to add in for the people, but I just have a feeling that the progressives over there, which is like 100 Democrats, that's like twice the size of the Senate alone for the Democratic side, say, whatever you guys add in for the people, I would not be surprised at all to see the Democratic Progressive Caucus say, whatever it is, we're going to have to shift the money around and add in a little more money for the people and take a little money away from climate or, well, they kind of like climate a lot. So I don't know if they'll take money away from climate, but they'll probably end up shifting some money for the people in the House and add more money for you guys and take some money away from some of the other things, don't be surprised if that doesn't happen after the Senate passes the bill. I'm just telling you because I'm listening to what everything they're saying. In fact, I'll see if I can drum up some interviews and see what they're saying here from the Democratic Progressive Caucus because like I said, they're literally called the Democratic Progressive Caucus, and if you know anything about the progressives, that's kind of what they're all about. Ilhan Omar just literally introduced that bill for a universal basic income for $1,200 monthly checks. Now that'll be something that happens down the road, and they want to do a test pilot where they basically start universal basic income for $1,200 per month for test groups across the country, starting off with $2.5 billion. We'll be reporting on that kind of after they pass these packages. But there's going to be a lot more to come after these packages, and I will keep you up to date with everything. So make sure to subscribe down below. They're going to be in session this weekend. They literally might pass part one this weekend. My next video will be at 8 p.m. Eastern time this evening. So make sure to subscribe. I'll keep you up to date. You can click this top video here to watch my newest stimulus check video next. And if you haven't clicked this video yet about how the government is mandating vaccines in some limited capacities, you should definitely watch that video as well too. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks guys, and I will see you in the next video.